So the first one is about the women, right? Or the first two are about the women discovering the tomb. And what it is that they were told and what the disciples did. So this first one, what were the women supposed to tell the disciples? Right, because remember, they show up and there's an angel or angels there, and they tell the women something. Well, supposedly, according to Bart Ehrman, right, this is where we've gotten many of the contradictions we've been looking at. He says this one is a contradiction. It is a difference in the stories of the gospel. So let's just hear him and what he has to say.
What were they told to tell the disciples? Were the disciples supposed to stay in Jerusalem to see Jesus, or were they supposed to go to Galilee? Depends which gospel you read.
So were they supposed to stay in Jerusalem, or were they supposed to go to Galilee? Now, I looked around to find where this is supposedly being talked to. Now, you have a little table there with the verses that this is the challenge. Here are the verses that they're going to say this is a contradiction. Matthew 28:7, the angel says, "Go quickly and tell his disciples that he is risen from the dead. And indeed, he is going before you into Galilee, and there you will see him. And behold, I have told you." And Mark says much the same thing. The angel says, "Go, tell his disciples and Peter that he is going before you into Galilee, and there you will see him as he said to you." So there the angels are telling the women, hey, go and tell them to go meet Jesus in Galilee. But then Luke 24:49 says, "Behold, I send the promise of my Father upon you, but tarry in the city of Jerusalem until you are endued with power from on high." So here's the claim. Okay, Matthew and Mark, they say go to Galilee. But Luke says stay in Jerusalem. But when you stop and think about it, there have been two different times. That is actually where this kind of gets unpacked. These, and you should have this little table in there also. In this one, in Luke 24:49, that's not the angel talking to the women. This gets set up as a contradiction. And it's not even the same event. This is Jesus at the ascension telling his disciples to stay in Jerusalem waiting for Pentecost. This is not even the same event. But people will point out and say it's a contradiction. Here's the actual verses. If you look at what is said, you actually get, Matthew says go to Galilee. Mark says go to Galilee. Luke doesn't say anything. The angel doesn't give any kind of instructions on where they're supposed to go or what they're supposed to do. It just says he's risen. John, the same thing. All the angel says is recorded is he's saying to Mary, "Why are you weeping?" There's no instructions there to tell the disciples to go somewhere or do anything. There's no contradiction. The verses that, and I looked into this because I was like, well, that can't be it. And I searched several different websites and places where this accusation is made. And they all pointed to the Luke passage that wasn't even the angel talking. It was Jesus at the ascension. Not a contradiction. And right here we have, side by side, these are the passages, and you have them right there on your sheet. These are the passages where the angels give instructions, give a message to the women. You can see for yourself, there is nothing contradictory. Nothing. And yet, a top-rated Bible scholar, Bart Ehrman, is going to say, there's a contradiction. Did they do this or did they do that? It depends on which gospel you read. No. There's no contradiction. He should know better. You can look there for yourself.